Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome to the Vaughn and Vitriolic channel. Ladies and gentlemen, basically, I am wanting to finish this game, so I'm going to do a lot of ahead-of-time recording, because I'm definitely getting, really involved in this game now, and I want to, see how it all plays out. Also, I will be going to see my family soon. We're going to be taking a trip, so the idea is to finish this game, schedule the videos, and then probably take a break until we get back, and then Mavericks on the main channel is going to be starting. So I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. I'd like to record at least a little bit of something new while Mavericks is going on, but I think I'll take a break just because I don't want to rush into something immediately while I'm going to be seeing my family, and then, yeah. We'll figure it out basically when I come back, what exactly I want to do. There was a lot of attention on the Claire Expedition video, so maybe we'll just jump into that. I mean, I'd definitely be down to play it, for sure. I just didn't really expect y'all patrons to be so, excited for it. But anyways, okay, so we are doing House of Sticks. Some morning, this turned out to be Elsa Lichtman, German exile. Oh, that's right. Nightclub jazz singer and a very rich lady, if my company has anything to do with it. Her friend died in an accident, and she collected the life insurance payout. The claims department never coughs up this kind of money without a fight, but she wants the truth more than she wants the 20 grand. You've got to admire that. Investigate a Legion Field site. That's right. So we're playing as Jack Kelso, which apparently was not a DLC case. I looked at all the DLC cases, and yeah, this one is not a DLC case, so that's so weird to me. I know oh my god. I know I finished this game. I clicked in the horn, but we're not even a cop. We're a insurance claims investigator, right? Yeah, I know I beat this game, so it's so weird to me, man. My memory is so bizarre. I feel like now when I play video games, I'm much better at, sticking with the story, although this game has been hard. Which is why I want to do, a whole bunch of recording, basically, until I finish it. I've realized that that is way better to play a game, in that way. Before, I was basically just recording, for the week ahead. But I didn't realize, if you're not just kind of, sticking consistent with a game, it's obviously way harder to keep track of what's going on, which sounds obvious in retrospect, but I just figured that was a good way to record. Because on my second channel, GV, yeah, I recorded a whole bunch of Pokemon White Nuzlocke to basically, get me through to Mavericks and into the first week of August. And then it was so much more fun because I basically just recorded so much back-to-back. So I want to do that with this game, too, is what I'm saying. I basically want to, sit here and record the entire thing until it's done, and then release it as scheduled episodes. I don't know if that's going to change how we do it on this channel and other channels in the future, because it definitely seems way better to record like that in terms of just kind of sticking with the game mentally, wanting to keep playing it, that sort of thing. Hopefully that makes sense. So, I don't know. Give me any feedback you have, if you got any. Elysian Fields, site 11:37 a.m. Yeah, we're playing as Jack Kelso, which was not DLC, so I really don't remember this at all. It's kind of weird. But we're playing as Cole's old war, I was going to say buddy, but as Cole has said, Kelso here hates Cole's guts. But it seems like the sort of thing where they're going to come together to get to the truth, which is pretty cool. I like when that happens,
That's not how my pop taught me to mix it. Someone is cutting corners.
I like when you have, basically two people that hate each other, but they kind of team up for the greater good. I enjoy that sort of trope. So, yeah, this must be about the cement that was used. So they're basically making crap cement, almost as if they don't care if the house stands or not, because we found that with Cole as well. So Elysian Fields, who we're investigating, and then Portland Cement Base Building Sand Course, Graded Aggregate. So I don't know anything about building cement or anything, but it sounds like you don't want to mix coarse sand in with cement because it probably makes for, a bad foundation or whatever. So I think that's the point of that, which is interesting. Okay, what else we got in here? Bum bum.
Bulldozing and starting again.
City of Los Angeles, Department of Building and Safety, order of demolition. The City of Los Angeles, pursuant to section orders that any building work at the Normandy Avenue subdivision associated with the incident of January 28th, 1947 be immediately demolished and all building material removed from the site. Notice date September 22nd, 1947, which I think is literally current. That's where we are right now in the game. So that must be regarding the, like, Elsa Lichtman's friend? I don't even know who that was. Lou, who died at that workplace incident. So they're gonna bulldoze the place, it sounds like?
Leland Monroe, the man with the grin. Looks like he doesn't like to be disappointed.
Okay, that's who we interviewed with Cole. Delivered to Elysian Fields to Frank Osterman from Leland Monroe. Construction schedule. Delays will not be tolerated. So Leland Monroe is behind all this most likely, but he wants things to obviously continue on schedule. Okay. Makes sense. Let's go this way. Master plan of Metropolitan Los Angeles freeways? Master plan, okay. And we got the typical picture. I'm not sure what that's about. I guess they're just planning to make a big freeway. That's always been a thing, right? I feel like that's come up multiple times in stories set in, like, LA during this time was like, yeah, the master plan of, like, getting all the freeways going. Okay. Show all clues is not there. We still have intuition points, so I'm assuming we're done? I don't know. I think we looked at everything.
Hey! You just can't be walking around down here.
I'm Jack Kelso, from California Fire and Life.
I don't care if you're from the Vatican. Buzz off.
I'm investigating the accidental death of a Lou Buckwalter, and...
You deaf? Do I have to beat on you?
Looks like you do.
Okay.
You're a real asshole. You know that?
No, you are. All right, so we're going to tap A to dodge. Jeez Louise. I still don't... Yeah, I guess it's X to dodge.
I came to see the house where Lou Buckwalter died. You were just about to offer to show me the way.
It's out the gate and 3 houses down on the left. Don't know what you're looking for, smart guy. There's nothing there.
Then I'll poke around in the rubble.
Fine. As long as you're out of my sight.
All right, relax, wise guy. Relax. What do you say we all take a break and chill out? Demolished house. So this is the accident scene where, yeah, Buckwalter, who was Elsa's friend, I don't know if that person was ever mentioned, basically died, and that's why she got the insurance payout, pretty much. Demolished Elysian
Place falls
Fields
down,
house.
and then they bulldoze it. What gives here?
The place falls down, and they bulldoze it. Not for construction use. Not for construction use. That's weird, because they were literally constructing, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it's confusing to me, because it's like, wouldn't you bulldoze a place if it was, like, constructed shoddily? But that seems to be, like, not the correct thing to do. So I'm a little confused. Like, I feel like if you were building with a shoddy set of, like, equipment and stuff, bulldozing would make sense. But Jack Kelso here is like, wait, what? The house collapsed and then they bulldozes it? The house, you know, has problems, so they bulldoze it. That's weird. But I don't know about
Are you
that.
drunk,
I
mister?
guess, no,
Or are
I'm
you
not
just
drunk.
cracked?
I'm not drunk. So I guess that makes sense. Anyways.
Talking's cheap.
Not
Hiring a
for construction use. So they're like literally building wood with that's not like construction grade, which is obviously terrible.
Sam has taken me to Palm Springs for the weekend.
There's something here, but Kelso doesn't want to find it.
Stay off the
literally-
moonshine, Bud.
I'm pressing it. There we go.
Let's try to piece this together.
Let's try to piece this together. Okay, so let's grab this one. Does that say films? Oh, it's like prop wood?
Keystone Films. Who gets their lumber from a film studio?
Are you serious? Shoot at the driver to slow the bulldozer down? Hold LT to target the driver. Okay. I mean, okay, I can't really do that when we're getting blocked by stuff. I guess we'll do it up here.
Watch out, everyone!
Oh, shit.
This is so weird. Get out of this! What are you doing? Just like locked into the shooting. This is freaking bizarre. What the? You have to hold LT, and then he like blocks it with the whatever that is. But it's like it wants you to shoot at the driver, but half the time you're getting blocked by, you know. Oh my god, this is so weird. What the hell? Yeah, half the time you're like getting blocked by, you know, all the different construction things. We're just leaving? Okay. That was like really, really weird. Bum ba da bum bum. Trace address of Keystone Films. Okay, I guess. I feel like you at least citizens arrest, right? Like, I mean, you have a gun. I feel like you don't just leave. Like, that's insane. Now we know we're like a marked man, too. Ba 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 ba.
Jack Kelso, California Fire and Life investigator. I need an address on the Keystone Film Company.
The address is 658 North Wilton Place. Is there anything else?
No, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. This is, man, this game is so weird. Like, I'm excited to do the review of it because I have a lot of opinions on this game. It's very unique and it's very interesting and there's a lot of good things about it, but I will say it's also very disjointed. I do think from what I've seen, like, people treat this game with a lot of rose-colored glasses, which honestly is the same for me. Like, I played this when it first came out, and I think what was important was that it was very unique. We hadn't really seen a game like this. And again, there's a lot of good things about it that really do cement it as, like, a meaningful experience. But man, oh man, there's just a lot of kind of like, because I was doing some research last night, I was like, what do people think about these certain elements? And sure enough, everybody was like, yeah, Cole cheating on his wife comes out of nowhere. Like, to me, it's like, it's not in his character at all. And sure, there's people where that wouldn't be in his, you know, in their character, they still would do it, sure. But, you know, and I totally agree with, like, the discussion that I saw. Like, they don't really set it up at all. It definitely feels like a cut plot point where, like, they were planning to, like, you know, kind of develop it more. And they just ended up not doing it. Because, like, yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, by the way, I cheated on my wife. I'm like, what? The best thing that I heard was that basically Cole had PTSD from the war. And he was able to bond with Elsa, who was kind of like a war outcast because she was German. And his wife couldn't really, like, get there with him with that. So he, like, you know, felt a need to, like, cheat with her. Which is fine, but they don't really show it. You know, feels cut.
Fire and Life. I'm looking into an industrial accident.
Here?
No, not here. At a housing development over on Normandy Avenue.
So?
I found some lumber over there, had the Keystone name printed on it.
We've been closed since '41. Never quite made the transition to talkies. The Suburban Redevelopment Fund are pulling the place down.
Know anything about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund?
Nix.
Mind if I take a look around?
I'm kind of hungry. If someone was to leave a couple of bucks here, I might wander down the street and get a cup of coffee.
Is there a key to the gate?
No. The only guys who go in or out are some delivery guys from Elysian Fields. They're working on a housing development over at Wilton and Santa Monica. You'll have to hop it.
Okay. Because, like, yeah, this game is very ambitious, you know? So, like, I think it gets a lot of leeway with its faults, but I do think there are faults, and I feel like people treat this game as if it's, like, perfect or just, like, you know, I don't know, it doesn't have major kind of negatives to it, which I think that there are, personally, because if you design a game entirely around investigating and interviews and stuff like that, and then it, to me, it feels very difficult to kind of nail it, it can be frustrating. But again, this game is so ambitious, and I also understand that, like, it would be very hard. Where are we going, by the way? I guess over there. It would be very hard to make this sort of game. So, like, that does go a long way with me. But I do think there are major negatives, personally. But it's a substantial game. Like, it's one that when you finish it, go through the whole thing, like, yeah, it feels good to do that. You know, it's not like a waste of time or anything.
Let's see what the rich and powerful have to say for themselves.
Suburban Redevelopment Fund. Okay, a film reel. Why is there a
The reel should be nearby.
Why is there a film reel for this? I guess they just made I feel like films would be really expensive. You wouldn't just do it for, like, promotional purposes or whatever. Okay, there's something here. See, like this right here. So he's like, okay, this is nothing, right? Who cares? This could be the film that we're looking for, but there's just no, like, you can't look at the title. He doesn't really say anything. Like, I really wish this game was just more clear with a lot of stuff, ultimately, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because it could be frustrating, especially for somebody like me who, like, you know, I really love putting together pieces of information and then having it come together and be like, ah, yes, that feels so good to figure out. But this game, it feels sometimes almost out of my hands, which I know could also be an excuse. It sounds like, oh, we'll just be smarter. Also, the game just crashed. Okay. So you're seeing me here. Yeah, the other thing is this game is on Steam, and it runs through, like, the Rockstar Games, like, launcher and whatever. Every time that I play this game on Steam, it, like, resets the settings. And it's really, really weird. Like, I have to change, like, the aspect ratio and stuff, and it has to run the Rockstar launcher in addition to Steam. And I really wish, you know, games didn't have this. I don't know if that's called de novo. I'm not sure exactly what de novo is, because I know it's kind of similar to that, where there's basically, like, another layer that you're running, like, on top of the game, which can be really annoying. But now, you're probably not going to see it. This game has... it's a little tiny window. When I start the game, it can be full screen, it can be, like, windowed, and now it's like a tiny window. And I'm like, why is this happening? But yeah, I think we've had maybe 2 crashes so far, 2 or 3. So not too bad, but, you know, obviously, if it didn't save there, that's going to be annoying. So, again, you're just watching me talk here, I realize that, but I want to see if I can kind of jump right back in. It does load fast. The game takes forever to get going. But it does jump back into your save files quickly. Okay, this is taking longer than I thought, so I'll go ahead and just cut to where we catch up again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we should be back in business. Yeah, I think that was 2 or 3 crashes. This game has that feeling where it could crash at any moment. That didn't happen last time. Wait, what? Didn't we open that and, like, nothing came out of it? Maybe it crashed right... Oh, my God, that is so loud. Okay, hold on. Jesus. Hold on. That is so loud. All right, hold on. Yeah, do this. To rotate the focus down. Okay, go to the sound. Hold on. We got to change this, man. The speed dial. Yes, for the love of God. Okay, so it's reversed.
In a great day for the future of Los Angeles, civic leaders and businessmen joined forces to launch the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. The Suburban Redevelopment Fund pledges to speed up housing development for returning GIs.
Gentlemen, this is Dr. Harlan Fontaine. He's our latest investor in the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. Doctor, this is Curtis Benson. He's Vice President of the California Fire and Life.
Pleased to meet you, Doctor.
Ray Gordon, editor of the Times.
Doctor.
District Attorney Donald Sandler and Police Chief Warren.
Gentlemen, I am delighted to be in such exalted company. You're making quite a name for yourself, Doctor, amongst the thespian fraternity. I find that those of artistic temperament are often of a fragile mental disposition.
It's a short step from miscreant to recidivism, Doctor.
Very true. But I think we could all agree that the City of Angels does rather well basking in the reflection of the motion picture industry.
Hear, hear. And it's something that every sucker getting off a train at Union Station wants a part of. Gentlemen, we're here to sell the American dream, and Hollywood is our greatest advertiser.
So, how is your new development selling, Leland?
Cannot throw them up fast enough, Ray.
And that's part of the problem, Leland. Washington is receiving steady complaints. There's a clamor for public housing.
God damn it, Ray. Public housing is tantamount to communism. Now that's why we fought this goddamn war. I'm telling you, it's Reds via the back door.
You can't have it both ways, Leland. The new freeways are being built to service all your developments out in the boondocks. They're all being built with government money.
The GI Bill is government money.
There's a difference.
What difference?
The GI money ends up in my pocket.
I hope you mean our pockets, Leland. We're all investors.
Of course, Curtis.
So, when will the freeway bond be passed on?
It still has to be ratified. Takes a long time to raise $3 billion.
I need to find a game well or a telephone.
Okay. So, it's gonna restart this, isn't it?
Los Angeles, civic leaders and businessmen joined forces to launch the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. The Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
Just want to investigate other stuff real quick, but this is gonna be very, very loud, difficult to talk over. So let's see. Let's see if there's any other clues here real quick. There are other clues. Let's try to find them.
Ray Gordon,
Editor of the Times.
Doctor?
District Attorney Donald Sandler, and Police Chief Warren.
Gentlemen, I am delighted to be in such exalted company. You're making
Wonder where it would be.
yourself,
Oh, there's something
Doctor,
there.
amongst the thespian fraternity. I find that those of artistic temperament are often of a fragile mental disposition.
It's a short step
Nothing?
from miscreant to recidivism, Doctor.
Very true. But I think we could all agree that the City of Angels does rather well basking in the reflection of the motion picture industry.
Here, here. And it's something that every sucker getting off a train at Union Station wants a part of.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. That was going to be very difficult to kind of talk over. So there's still another clue, it would say. It would seem. Although, no show all clues. So it's got to be in that room, I suppose. It's hard for me to, like, focus when there's just constant ambient, like, talking. Like, I've talked about this before. I don't know what that is. I know people have that, like, one thing where, like, they can't concentrate when there's a lot of talking going on or whatever. I might have that. I don't know. It's very hard. Like, when I'm playing an RPG, like in Skyrim or something, and then, NPCs in the background are just, like, babbling constantly. It's, like, so hard for me to focus. So, I'm trying to... I want to find what this last thing is. It must be in here, I would imagine.
For the future of Los Angeles, civic leaders and businessmen joined forces to launch the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. The Suburban Redevelopment Fund pledges to speed up housing development.
Man, let me shut that off, please. I already heard it. We don't got to hear it again. For the love of God. No. Go in here. I swear to God, the movement has just, like, changed in the end of the game here. What is this final clue, man?
Pleased to meet you, Doctor.
Ray Gordon,
Editor of the Times.
Doctor.
District Attorney.
Where
Donald
are you,
Sandler,
Clue?
and Police Chief Warren.
Gentlemen, I am delighted to be in such
Maybe over here?
exalted company. You're making quite a name for yourself, Doctor, amongst the thespian fraternity. I find that those of artistic temperament are often of a fragile mental disposition. It's a short...
All right, well, it's saying that there's another clue. I literally don't see one in there, but the thing is only lighting up when we're in there. So let me try to figure out what that is, and I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so apparently we missed clues in a different building altogether, which is weird because, again, when we're in that other one, it shows that, there's clues in there, but if we exit, there's not. So, again, it's just this game. I really wish it just showed, like, how to play it correctly. I don't know, some way to tell.
So this is where their lumber comes from?
Yeah, like, I think it's confusing to be in that one room, then, the only way to tell if there's still more clues is to see if it highlights show all clues, which is not even conducive, because then you don't want to click it, because then it'll use your intuition point, which you don't, but it tells you there's still more clues. However, you wouldn't know it's really in a completely separate area, because you would think it would be in that area, because when you exit that area, it doesn't show up. So stuff like that, I really wish somebody went through and, like, kind of cleaned all that stuff up. It would make this game just a lot more conducive, I guess. Anyways, apparently we missed 2 clues over in this area, basically. So Eastern White Pine, Eastern White Pine, Eastern White Pine. And I didn't see what Jack just said, but I'm assuming that's something to do with, like, yeah, being shoddy materials or something. Okay, and I think there's one more clue here.
That's one way to keep your costs down. Too bad it won't support a roof.
Yeah, inferior quality, not for structural use. They're basically making these buildings with stuff that they absolutely should not. Now, that should be all the clues here. But again, it would just be difficult to tell that there's stuff over here versus, you know, in that one building. I think an easy way to do it is just, like, have, like, a little thing on your map, man. Have, like, a Witcher 3 style, like, red zone. And, like, until that red zone goes away, you know there's still more clues. You know what I mean? It might make the game a little bit easier, but I think it would just make it so much more playable, basically. Anyways. Yeah, this is the type of game that I think, like, has great bones to it, but I feel like could really, really, really benefit with just, like, a mod that kind of goes in and cleans everything up, basically, is what I'm saying.
Operator, can you put me through to police dispatch?
Putting you through now.
This is Jack Kelso, investigator for California Fire and Life. Can you put me through to Curtis Benson, please?
Just a moment, please, Mr. Kelso.
Jack, how can I help?
Do you know anything about the Suburban Redevelopment Fund, Mr. Benson?
I've heard of them, Jack. Building new homes for GIs.
With green lumber that was used on movie sets.
Jack, are you working the Buckwalter case?
Mr. Benson, are you part of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund?
Jack, I want you to listen very clearly. Call Miss Lickman. Call her as soon as you hang up. Arrange to see her tonight and get her to agree to the settlement. Do it tonight. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
End of story, Jack. I don't want to hear another word about Elsa Lickman or Lou Buckwalter.
Can you put me through to Michigan 221?
Putting the call through.
Hello?
Ms. Lichtman, it's Jack Kelso.
Yes, Mr. Kelso.
I've been looking into your case.
Yes, and what have you found?
It doesn't look good. I need to see you.
Meet me at the Blue Room. I work there tonight. I take a break around 9. I'll be waiting at the stage door. We can talk then. Auf Wiedersehen, Mr. Kelso.
Thanks for your help.
Why would you call your boss who you know is implicit in this? This is something I never understand in, like, movies and stuff. We know that Curtis is literally involved. We just saw evidence of that. Why would he call him? Like, he's just gonna get whacked, you know? Obviously, it's an easy way to make the story happen, but I always find that really stupid in shows and games and films.
What were you doing with him?
I was doing what you asked.
I didn't ask you to meet him in an alleyway.
Why do you snarl at me? Your friend came to ask me to accept the insurance.
He's not my friend, Elsa.
I think he's a brave man, and you have placed him in great danger. You've involved him in something, and he has no idea of the risk. Can you live with that, Cole?
Elsa, I need his help, and he hates my guts.
Forget the past, Cole. He deserves a chance to say no. If he helps you, let it be on his terms.
I'll go see him in the morning.
Investigate Elysian Fields, Site 2, and we're still Kelso. Yeah, this game is so interesting, man. Very weird game, Elysian Fields, Site 2. Because there's, like, it really comes down to, there's a lot of great bones, as I said, but I think it needed a little bit of tweaking basically like a second draft, or however many drafts, you know, this game already took to get to this point. Another one to kind of really solidify it. Because, like, the idea of a police investigator sort of game is great in the style that they're doing it. But I think the story just kind of needed to be a little more, you know, kind of tweaked. Because, like, again, Cole cheating on his wife just really seems completely out of character and also out of left field. Yeah, there's hints here and there for sure, but I think they just need to show the wife more, because by the time that Cole cheats on her, you don't really know the wife. Like, is she ever even shown at all, or his kids? Like, so it's hard to really, like, feel the impact, because you don't really see those characters, you know? So it feels kind of just, like, out of left field in order to progress the plot, and I don't know if I buy it, which sucks, because it really does feel like it was on the cutting room floor or something, like they just didn't develop it, or they wanted to, but they couldn't get there. So that feels weird, but I really do like the idea of, like, all the desks kind of coming together to tell an overall story that also is just fun because you're doing police investigations, puzzle work. But yeah, man, it just feels a little bit messy, you know? If that makes sense. So it's weird. It's one of those games where, like, man, the full potential of this being realized to its maximum would have been so, like, good. And it is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of work went into this game. You know, clearly it's very memorable and unique. But I just feel like it could have been elevated to that really kind of legendary status, you know? But it really comes down to just it feeling a bit messy with so many different elements going on. And then added to that is, like I said, my frustrations with kind of the, certain elements. Elysian Fields site too, and then we got some lights flashing up there. Basically, the interrogation segments and then also the investigative segments where you're trying to find clues. I really feel like those could be cleaned up, and that's unfortunate because that's the bulk of the game. That's like what you're doing when you're playing this game. So, just basically trying to kind of forge my opinions here when we do the review at the end of this playthrough. But it's interesting taking another look at it because it's, again, very unique, you know. It's kind of a little time capsule for when this game came out, like what type of game this is. It's kind of, kind of a weird little, yeah, very unique game. No power.
Nice wiring job, fellas. Keep them in the dark.
Nice wiring job. Keep them in the dark. So they're just like, yeah, so everything's like a sham, basically. Like, nothing here is supposed to be made correctly, pretty much.
Good thing I'm not thirsty.
So it's all for show. And the question is why? Like, why are they basically just making a bunch of houses that are just purely for show and not actually functional, pretty much? What is going on here? Now, there was a light up here, which is interesting. But now we're not seeing where the light's coming from. But it's gotta have some point of origin, of course. It's also very labyrinthine, this place, too.
You lose something, Mac?
I thought these private eye types were all wise guys with smart mouths.
Looks like the snappy repartee has all dried up.
Get on with it.
What's your hurry, Mac? You got some place to go?
You ever do the cat and mouse routine without a gun in your hand?
Now that's more like it.
Let's put a few gaps.
They're just not gonna use their guns? Okay, so yeah, I'm still kind of confused as to what's going on with the fist fighting mechanics. So X dodges, it looks like. A punches. Okay, B finishes. All right. Why would they not just use their guns unless I guess they're trying to keep them alive?
You're a worn tough guy. You should learn to take a hint. Get them downstairs and into the trunk. Sure, he turned up all right. He's wishing he didn't. He's in the trunk. He's going nowhere. The boys introduced themselves. What do you want done with him, Mr. Monroe? Yeah, I know a good place. We'll pick up a shovel and a pick on the way. It's up in the hills behind Griffith Park. We'll deal with that German bitch next.
Elsa.
Yeah, we get it. You like Frozen. My God. Get in a vehicle. Don't we have a gun? I guess they would have taken the gun, obviously. Yeah, another thing is I would have liked to see more puzzle elements, too. You know? Like, it would be cool to try and figure out.
Sorry, pal. Desperate times.
It would be cool to kind of figure out, like, how to get out of that trunk if you have to, like, you know, do a little, like, puzzle there. There are some puzzles. Whoa, 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 whoa. There are some puzzle elements.
Monroe owns the city. Owns the cops. I need to find Elsa.
There are some puzzle elements. You know, like when you're putting together things as Cole and you're kind of, you know, you're putting together a little bit of escape room type stuff. But yeah, I would have liked right there to kind of see a way to, like, are you serious? I thought we'd be able to bust through that. As Kelso, kind of like, you know, put together things with your hands, maybe pull on the cords or whatever to be able to get out of the trunk. You know, outside of that, we're just Jesus. We're just literally, yeah, we just literally escape without having any agency as the player, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't need to be like a puzzle game, but I think it would have added to the experience, you know. Man, these guys are sticking onto me like white on rice. But looks like we may have lost him. Let's make a left up here. Trying to get to Elsa's apartment.
Is that the last of them?
Trying to get to Elsa's apartment so we can warn Elsa that, yeah, these goons are going to be taking all of us out because we're all loose ends, basically. Bum ba da bum bum, zop da bum, bum ba da bum bing, ga ba ba bum, zum ba da bum bee, ya ba da bum. Curious how close we are to the end of this game. As far as I can tell, all the cases, all the desks kind of have around the same amount of time. So I feel like we're kind of getting close here. Things are ramping up, obviously.
So you're still carrying that Army 45, Cole?
Am I gonna catch him, Cole?
Call an ambulance.
I feel like, come on, man. You're an army man, Cole. You can't catch him. Look, come on, dude. House of Sticks. Valorous. The truth is out on Elysian Fields, despite Leland Monroe's best efforts to bury it.
Satchel charges on the cave entrance from above. Covering fire on weapons team. Look for snipers in the trees. You know the drill. No risks, no heroes, no prisoners.
You want some roast on this one, Sarge?
No, you guys have done enough. Head back to Webb's. We are going to blow every cave we come across. Close them down and move on, people.
Damn. I was hoping to get me a samurai sword.
Skipper says that Phelps has fallen behind again. He's got his fire teams checking every cave. He's lost another flamethrower. He wants you to get over there and hurry them along.
Ho, boom. Weapons company.
Sir.
Sir.
We have a major cave complex in front of us, Hogaboom. I want flamethrowers and BAR teams to clean it out.
Begging your pardon, sir. But if it's a big complex, why don't we bring the Shermans in? They could pour it in there.
We can't wait for tanks to be brought up. I'm already behind.
Then blow the cave. No skin off our nose. Bury them.
We are going in there and clearing them out. We are doing it by the numbers, Sergeant. Get your team in place. We're moving out. Mount up! First fire team and flamethrowers. Head in!
Where's he going? Where's who going? The big cowboy. He's going in.
Who gave that order?
You did.
A polite invitation. Man, I don't know anything about war, so I'm like wondering why everybody hates Cole so much. I guess because he's not making the right decisions. He's sticking to the book instead of going with what he should be doing. Because I'm not exactly sure what he's doing wrong, but clearly everybody hates him. Which is interesting, playing as a protag where everybody hates you in a game like this.
Hello, Miss Lichtman. How long have you been sitting there?
Not long, Mr. Kelso.
You look lovely, Princess. You haven't exactly caught me at my best. It's okay, Miss Lichtman. I'm a big boy. I know how to take my licks.
Please, call me Elsa.
Okay, Elsa? What can I do for you?
I'd like to explain because
I can join the dots, Elsa.
Cole needs your help, Jack. The police department have frozen him out.
Look, you're obviously a brave lady, but you can't fight all Cole's battles for him.
I just wanted to apologize
You
for...
don't have to apologize. You were right about Elysian Fields. Tell me something. What was Lou Buckwalter's regular job?
He was a carpenter. He built sets for RKO, Warner Brothers.
Set carpenter? Perfect. If you don't mind, Elsa, I'd like to get a little rest now. I've got a lot more dots to join, and it's making my head hurt.
That's perfectly understandable, Mr. Jack. I hope we can meet again under less dramatic circumstances.
I hope so too, Princess. I'd like that.
It's so weird. It's like Cole's romantically involved, but she's like basically cheating on Cole, but Cole cheated on his wife.
You Kelso?
Who's asking?
Peterson, assistant DA.
You're in the wrong building, Peterson. This is a hospital.
A wise guy. Let me tell you a story, Kelso.
Can I get the abridged version? My head hurts.
You're a funny guy, Jack.
What do you want, Peterson?
A colorful character mentioned your name. He said that you might know something about...
There's a problem with colorful characters, Peterson. First they send you over a drink, then they buy you dinner, then you get a phone call in the middle of the night for a favor. Try rubbing shoulders with some solid citizens. They're the ones you're supposed to protect.
You finished, Kelso?
For the moment.
I'm going to run for DA, Kelso. The current administration stinks.
And you want me to help?
I'm looking for a DA's investigator. You get a gun and a badge and $120 a month.
I get $150 a month now.
I'm going after the Vice Squad, Kelso. It's going to get me elected.
I've got something better. How about Leland Monroe?
The property developer?
Do you think I fell down the stairs?
Yeah, this game is so weird, man. I almost feel like Jack Kelso should have been the main character, and I really like him. He's way more likable, but the fact that he hits on... Oh, it was like, who are we? We're still Kelso. The fact that he hits on Elsa is so weird to me, you know? Because, like, what is that? Okay. The fact that he, like, hits on Elsa is weird because he knows... I guess he doesn't know Cole's I mean, he would know, right? He's an investigator. He probably would have heard that Cole, you know, besmirched his name by cheating with Elsa. So he keeps on hitting on her.
Princess. Might be the only R&R I get for some time.
I also find the princess line creepy. I don't find it endearing. If they just cut out the romantic stuff from Kelso, I feel like I would have liked him much more. But the point is, like, Cole is very unlikable. So, like, I almost feel like they should have just made Jack Kelso the pro-tag. But then you're like, okay, well, does a pro-tag need to be likable? I mean, I don't know, but I feel like it just fits better. You root for the guy more. I feel like it would be easier to root for Kelso as opposed to Cole. Cole is kind of hard to root for. He's a bit of a jerk, and he's kind of a loser in his own way, you know what I mean? Like, especially the fact that he cheats on his wife, which I think is a little bit of character assassination, because honestly, again, I just don't feel like it fits Cole. So, I don't know. It's a bizarre game, man. It's like there's so many good things about it, but it's just like I feel like the story and characters just could have been tightened up.
The only reason some people get lost in thought is because it's unfamiliar territory.
If that makes sense, you know? Well, I do want to skip to my destination, but I also need to bring this episode to a close. If we can go ahead and get a save, brother? Can we get a save? It's so random, like, when the game saves, too, because I feel like typically it's saved after... Oh,
got a job to do.
Jerk. I'm holding Y to skip to my location, by the way. I kind of want to do that, but I don't know if we needed to do that, like, as soon as we got into the car. Yeah, it feels like sometimes it saves as soon as you get into the car, but other times you have to go to your next destination before it saves. Very tricky. I do need to end this, though. I kind of plan to end this around this time. So, we'll keep going until we get that little save wheel in the bottom right corner of the screen. Hey. Like a glove? Like a glove? No, like a glove. That was like a glove. So yeah, I'm excited to give a review of this game at the end of it, and I would also love to hear your opinions too in the comments section if anyone has any opinions on this game. It's obviously like a beloved game. You know, it won the Patreon vote for what people wanted to see me play, but I definitely want to give my honest opinions about it because it's kind of, you know, easy to just be like, oh, it's amazing, there's no flaws, I loved it, loved every second. That's easy. You know, nuanced conversation is much more interesting to me, so I do want to give an interesting review, and I want to be fair. Like with my reviews, you know, I try to be as fair as possible because that's what's important. If you're not being fair, if you're being biased,
bad driving.
Not that there's any reason to be biased, but if you're being biased, you know, kind of ruins the point of a review ultimately. So I do want to be fair to it. But yeah. Okay, so it's like right over there.
Are you loaded?
Not sure exactly what we're pulling up to. There we go. Curtis Benson's apartment. Oh, this guy's gonna be dead, right? Curtis Benson's apartment, 10 o'clock a.m. Yeah, this is our boss at the fire company, whatever, insurance company. This guy's for sure gonna be dead, right? Like, this is definitely a walk up and find a guy dead sort of scene, I would imagine anyways. We gotta look at that thing to the left. All right, we'll end this episode here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, basically the goal of this series right now is I'm gonna push through and record basically to the end just so it stays fresh in my mind. Plus, I am engrossed in this and I want to see, like, how it ends. And then after that, I don't know what we'll do. A lot of patrons expressed interest in a Claire Obscure Expedition 33 playthrough. A lot of people thought I was just going to do a playthrough of it, but it was more of a one-off video. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll focus on new games after this is over. I wanted to make this channel only, you know, based on the patrons' votes and submissions, but as many people always say, like, you know, if I just follow what I really want to do, it usually makes for better content anyway, so maybe the patrons would be cool if I just, you know, jumped into something new like Claire Obscure, which I know for a fact I would love, but it's also a gigantic commitment. So I don't know. I'm going to try to finish the series and then probably take a bit of a break until I get back from seeing my family, and then Maverick's is going to be weird too because I'll be streaming every day in May on the main channel, although it's July for this year because of Oblivion Remastered. So anyways, all that being said, yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Hit up the Patreon in the description if you want to get involved. Bye-bye.